My name's Chris Steiner, and I run the Excelsior BBS here, and I put out the only national listing of Patriot and suppressed information computer services. I have well over 160 so far, and I'll just show you this. What you just saw was the introduction screen. I'll just show you how the BBS operates. This is the main menu, and then from there, someone can select B for bulletins, which is a flashing letter. It's a red-hot item. Because this is a bulletin board system. Let's go through these other subjects. Where was I? Covert government operations, UFOs, man-made diseases, withheld cures such as AIDS. I was just reading on the radio today to Al Gardner on 970 WFLA. I have the recording of it if you're interested. Where 1970 House Senate Appropriations Committee hearings granted $10 million to research a biological weapon to disable someone's immune system. It was actually requested. The file name for that on my BBS is HIVCONSP for HIV conspiracy. Preventative health, diagrams, actual diagrams and schematics for secret inventions, free energy machines, weather manipulation, alternative energy sources, gun/people control. That's pretty self-explanatory. Survivalism, being self-sufficient in all ways, communications, historical documents and articles. Following is a list of alleged and or suspected CIA front companies, corporations, or organizations. Compiled by Dr. Julius Matter of East Berlin, claims to be an independent researcher. There is reason to believe he's employed by the Soviet Intelligence Service, the KGB, which is basically front companies that are in the practice of such things as laundering money and trafficking drugs. The file name called Values on my BBS. It discusses it says evidence of government trafficking in cocaine and cover-up by those pardoned. And this is from the excerpted from the congressional record, the House, Wednesday, May 20th, 1992, 102nd Congress. It goes into all the details. The Iraqi loans has something to do with it. I have information on George Bush and Clinton trafficking drugs in Arkansas. But
I'd like to see democracy aborted by a coup. Isn't working too well because you don't have the public support, but we're going to stay with that for a while. But, shutting down the democracy is that easy.
This is the file I told you, HIVCONSP for conspiracy. This is the information on it. George H. Mahon, Texas Chairman Subcommittee on the Department of Defense Appropriations. Dr. MacArthur said, there are two things about the biological agent field I would like to mention. One is the possibility of technological surprise. Molecular biology is a field that is advancing very rapidly, and eminent biologists believe that within a period of 5 to 10 years, it would be possible to produce a synthetic biological agent, an agent that does not naturally exist and for which no natural immunity could have been acquired. Mr. Sykes says, are you doing any work in that field? Dr. MacArthur answers, we are not. Mr. Sykes asks, why not? Lack of money or lack of interest? Dr. MacArthur says, certainly not lack of interest. Mr. Sykes says, would you provide for our records information on what would be required, what advantages of such a program would be, the time and the cost involved? Mr. MacArthur says we will be very happy to. And point 2 is the most important one. Within the next 5 to 10 years, it would probably be possible to make a new infective microorganism which could differ in certain important aspects from any known disease-causing organisms. Most important of these is that it might be refractory to the immunological and therapeutic process upon which we depend to maintain our relative freedom from infectious disease. A research program to explore the feasibility of this could be completed in approximately 5 years at a total cost of $10 million. And basically, this is the Department of Defense that requested AIDS to be manufactured. This is our government at work. The few who understand the system will either be so interested in its profits or so dependent upon its favors that there will be no opposition from that class. The great body of people, mentally incapable of comprehending the tremendous advantages, will bear its burden without complaint. This was said by the Rothschild brothers of London in a letter discussing their new banking scheme with fellow conspirators in 1863. Basically, what it amounts to, we have a de facto government right now because in 1871, 16th United States Statutes at Large, I'll pull up here in a minute, Section 419, Chapter 62, actually makes the federal government, Washington, D.C. that is, a municipal corporation. I really hope that sense is common and we can come to our senses and start catching up to speed on all this suppressed political, historical, technological, medical information of all types